welcome to the first ever podcast of First State Sports Talk. I'm Jared Jordan, your host, co-host Colton G, and our first guest and someone who will be here often with us, Connor G. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. Can't wait.
Doing good.
What do you guys want to talk about first?
So I think we should talk about the greatness that we all got the chance to witness in the man, the myth, the legend, Tiger Woods.
Once again, back on
Is he
top.
back or
on-
is he not?
He's back.
And I'm going to have to go ahead and say he's back.
He's back. He
Dude.
is back.
There's no... It's not a comeback anymore. It's the greatest comeback that ever happened, but the comeback's over. He's here right now, and he's alive and well.
Yes.
I
Tiger
mean,
is back. Tiger is back.
all
And he's
those
going to have
people.
a huge 2019.
And he is playing at a very high level.
Yes, one that many would say close to his 2,000 years. Obviously, he probably will never play as dominant as he did once.
Yeah, it definitely.
I mean,
well,
back
actually,
in
what I've learned over the years is you can't doubt him.
Oh, no.
You can't doubt him. I thought to myself last year around this time that we'll never see him again. We'll never see him win again.
I remember trading texts with you last year, like, especially a year and a half ago when it was December in Dubai.
In Dubai, I remember that.
We texted and we said, is this a good idea for him to go play overseas? And we saw the first round and we're like, okay, he's just rusty. And then I remember still waking up about 3:50 in the morning to watch it because who doesn't love watching Tiger? And if you're a big Tiger fan, it doesn't matter what time he plays, you're getting up to watch him. And I just remember seeing Tiger withdrawing back stiffness, and I said, here we go again.
We thought that was it.
We
thought
thought
he was done.
And then you see him post pictures a year ago, almost to the day from his win. You see him post a picture that he got cleared for chipping by the doctors. And then, I mean, even at the Hero, you were like, is this going to last? Remember, no professional sports athlete has ever fused their back and ever made a successful return.
Absolutely
I don't even
not.
think anybody's ever attempted to
Absolutely
make a
not.
return from a fused back.
Would you call it the greatest comeback ever?
Definitely. I mean, nobody else is even... Tell me a comeback where...
I honestly don't believe there's one as good as this from where he came from, ranked
1,600 something in the world
to being
13th. 13th.
It's
And
incredible.
having, was it 6 top 10s, I believe it was, and a win.
And
And
it's incredible.
the Tour
At the age he's
Championship.
at, too.
The Tour Championship, nonetheless.
Yes, playing with all these young guys,
Playing with the top 30 players
Yeah.
in the world.
it's crazy.
I mean, you had Justin Rose there. You look at the way Justin Rose played with Tiger Woods on Saturday afternoon.
I know.
He looked like he was just befuddled. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
It was the Tiger effect of old, which we saw so much of over the years. And unfortunately, you and I only got to see the comeback that he made from all the scandal and all that from all that injury in 2009 when he finally came back in 2012 and 2013 and won
Yep.
again.
Yep.
And then it happens again right after there in the FedEx playoffs where he goes down on his knees. Everybody remembers it was the greatest
Yep.
collapse of a sports player in history,
In
and followed by
history.
the greatest comeback in history, which is, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Yes, the scandal hurt him. He lost Gatorade.
And that's where people started jumping off the
Yeah,
bandwagon. of
absolutely.
Tiger.
But people make mistakes. People are human. Obviously, what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
He knows that. He had a press conference where he announced to the world he was sorry. And yeah, people say, "Oh yeah, but he had a lot to lose. That's why he did that." You're not going to bring your now ex-wife in front of you and her mom and apologize if it's a publicity stunt.
Yep.
I mean, I
Yep.
truly believe he's sorry for what he did. And I mean, it's not even about that anymore. He's back. I'm happy. What do you think happens this year? What do you think he does?
I think Tiger wins. I think he wins 2 tournaments this year. 2 tournaments. What do you think?
I think he wins 3, and I think he wins a major.
3. Where do you think he wins the major?
Augusta.
Augusta's where he's got to.
It's where it's got to be. I mean, really, yes, he's back, but I don't think he has a shot at the U.S. Open the way those are played out, unless it's this year, because of where it is at Pebble Beach, where he's played so well over the years.
so well.
he's got a chance.
Uh-huh.
So I'll leave that door open this year. I just don't think that U.S. Opens fit his game as well as a place like Augusta.
Augusta, where he feels it's his home.
I mean, remember,
It's where
he
feels-
shot 18 under. 18 under.
that's
Yeah, Jordan
ridiculous.
Spieth did that, but look at the margin Tiger won by that year.
Exactly. It was
Blew the field
blew
away.
everybody out.
What do you think about it, Connor?
I'm gonna agree with a little bit of what both of you said. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'll give Tiger 2 wins in the upcoming year, and
One of them
I'm
being
gonna
major?
agree with you. I think one of them could be a major because he is very comfortable at Augusta.
Yes, he's
and-
dominant at Augusta.
And yeah, people
He's
could
dominant.
say, oh, well, he didn't perform last year and he was back last year. It takes
Wasn't
time.
fully back.
He was coming
Yeah,
back.
that was his
he
still
was,
in the process.
He was still, remember, I believe it was the week or two before Augusta, he was still making club changes,
Yeah.
getting the last bit of Nike clubs out of his bag,
Yeah.
trying to find out which driver he wanted to use. And remember, it was only, 3 or 4 weeks before his win where he finally found his driver.
Yep. Yes.
He made the shaft switch, and that was it. It clicked. I mean, that driver was dangerous in the
Yes.
Tour Championship.
Oh, he was.
He was
roping.
smoking
Yes,
that thing.
Just smoking bull.
And then you would see him give up a little distance, still go 300, but it would be right down the middle.
Yep.
I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with that, especially because he's always been one of the greatest long iron players.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he's the greatest of all time. Let's have that discussion right now.
Is he the GOAT?
anybody
Is he
better?
the GOAT?
He's the best.
He's the best. He is the best. I'm going to say that right now. He's the
Tiger in his prime. I can't put anyone
I
near
think
him.
he would beat Jack 10 out of 10 times head
Ab-
to head.
in
Both
his
of
prime.
them- both of
In
them in
his
their prime.
prime.
Absolutely.
You give me Tiger.
Keyword in the
You give
prime.
me Tiger in 2000. See you later.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
You're not putting anybody against him that's taking him down. You're not.
Yeah, it's just not happening.
Now,
I
what
mean-
do you say to the people who say Jack Nicklaus? Jack Nicklaus. You
Oh,
hear so many
yeah,
people talking
he's
about
got
Jack's
18
better.
majors. Tiger's only got 14. Well, where's Jack in the win column?
Yep.
At
Yep.
the end of the day, W's matter.
That's so true.
Yeah,
and how many weeks did Jack play in a? They used to play every weekend.
Yeah, and I'm sure many people may disagree, but I mean, we all have different opinions on many other things, but we're coming together and we're agreeing on this. And if anyone wants to take us on this, I mean, we allow guests to come on the
Yes,
shows.
absolutely. And I mean, I don't know what someone who could say a case for Jack Nicklaus. In all
We have
honesty, in
plenty
my
of
eyes, I don't
information.
know how someone could see Jack Nicklaus being.
And,
a better
let me just
player.
say this. Let me say this. We have nothing against Jack Nicklaus.
Oh, absolutely
Nothing,
nothing. He's a great
nothing
player.
at all.
Second best in the world.
Yeah, it's put it this way: it's Tiger in a group all of his own. He's in God-worthy territory up there, and then you have a group well below him that features the likes of Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, and players like that. And then you have a group where you have very, very good players, the likes of Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy, Phil Mickelson. Yes, they might be. They will be Hall of Famers. But Tiger should have a hall built for him that is all of his own.
The Tiger Hall of Fame. I agree with you. Honestly,
mean, you
I agree
can't
with you.
compare anybody to Tiger Woods.
So years ago, the sport of golf was nothing. Tiger made playing golf a cool
Fun
thing
again.
to do. A cool thing to
Tiger
do. that
made
kids actually-
great. Tiger made golf great again.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
He literally did. He made
Completely
people
agree
want
with
to
that.
play golf.
I
He
mean, just look
made
at
it
him
fun to
after the
watch.
last tournament he won. He had a monsoon of people behind
I've
him.
never
Absolutely.
seen, dude.
Never seen anything.
and
like
I've
that.
never got emotional.
Yeah.
I remember texting you.
Yeah.
I had chills up and down my
It was
body.
crazy. I've never.
I almost was at the point of crying because I was like,
Everyone who has watched Tiger
of
got the
all
same
the
feeling.
time that I got up early to watch him not win, just put
play
it,
like crap.
not even play like crap, but just not get over that hill. Especially this year, he wasn't playing like crap at all this year because he missed 2 cuts. He missed
Oh
one
no,
at,
no, I'm not talking about
one at
this
the
shit.
Genesis, and then he missed one somewhere else, but I can't remember. No, it was at the U.S. Open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
said
you're right.
earlier, why he doesn't play good in U.S. Opens. He missed one at Genesis early in the year, which it's a tough place to play anyway. And then he remember Genesis, he's never played well at Genesis,
Yeah.
and he's hasn't been the best at U.S. Opens.
Never has been.
But I just
So we can all agree.
yeah.
Tiger
Tiger's-
is the
yeah.
GOAT of golf, and he's back.
Oh, don't
he's
get me
back.
wrong, he's back. The comeback's over.
Comeback is
This
over.
is
He's back.
this is the reinvented. This is the new Tiger Woods. This is what you're going to see, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. He's back.
And I hope so.
You guys want to go into the next topic?
I think we're ready.
Yeah, shoot for it.
All right, we're gonna talk about NBA.
And I think we should start off the NBA talk.
Coaches
on the hot seat.
That's what I was thinking.
Coaches on the hot seat. What do you guys
ready
think?
for it.
What do you guys think? Jared, what do you think? Coaches on the hot seat.
Obviously, you know the coaches that's on the hot seat. Everybody's talking about him right now.
Luke Walton. Obviously.
Luke Walton surely on
Magic
the hot seat.
Johnson came to him earlier this
He
week and
was
mad that his team was not performing.
Now,
I don't understand.
I think Magic is in the wrong here.
Absolutely. Because you know why? He's got a bunch of young guys. He's got a bunch of people who have never played together. They have to learn how to play with LeBron.
And look at this.
It's going to take a long time.
We didn't talk about the Tiger effect either. Back in the last, where people are really scared, we talked about that a little bit.
That's the LeBron effect.
That's the LeBron effect. You can't just walk in. I mean, when you walk into a room and you see LeBron James, you're just starstruck.
Yes. Absolutely.
You walk in the room, you see Tiger Woods, you're starstruck. That's why people don't play well with Tiger.
Absolutely.
That's why. I honestly believe that's why Tiger Woods didn't play well in the Ryder Cup, because his teammates were
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just.
And what do you think the Lakers would do this year though? Like, do you think the Lakers are a playoff team? Do you think they're gonna make the playoffs?
I think they have playoff teams. In concerns with Golden State, I don't think anybody can touch that.
I don't think
team.
anyone's touching them.
Personally, if you want my honest opinion, I'll make a bold prediction here. The Lakers will have. It will come down to the last week to determine whether the Lakers will make the playoffs or not.
Wow.
It will come down to that last week, and I think they'll be on the cusp of a playoff team or not. But I honestly think they either face Golden State, or they face Portland in that first round.
And they don't. And if you look at their roster, they do not match up well whatsoever against the Warriors. That's a 4-game sweep just waiting to happen. So, but I believe that the Lakers will be around a 5 or 6 seed going into the playoffs.
Okay.
I'm thinking about a 5 or 6.
Now I know earlier in the year you were talking maybe 4 seed.
After watching them,
how
they just
don't
play
mesh
well together. I mean, I don't know if
it comes.
I don't know if they're going to be able to do it in a season. I think it's going to take longer than that. I still think they're still missing a piece. They have no shooters on their team.
They have absolutely no chance. They have no chance. Let me put it this way: the Los Angeles Lakers have a 0% chance of winning the NBA Finals this year, or even going to the NBA Finals. Ladies and gentlemen, that streak is done with. LeBron's streak is over.
It's over.
It is over unless they get somebody. And I don't even think Jimmy Butler pushes them over that hill.
And to be honest, I don't know if Jimmy Butler wants to play with LeBron. I think Jimmy Butler wants to go to Los Angeles, but he wants to go to the Clippers.
I think that's the same problem Kawhi had.
Yeah.
Kawhi didn't necessarily want to go to the Lakers. He wanted, because I think that's why the deal fell through. I think that Kawhi would not commit to playing with the Lakers beyond this year. I think Kawhi wants to team up with maybe a Jimmy Butler or somebody
next year.
Right across.
Do you think it could happen next year? Do you think he could get traded next year?
Well, Jimmy Butler's is this the final year of his contract?
I think this is the final year of his contract. Do you think he's gonna? I think he leaves this year.
He leaves. I would be shocked to see Jimmy Butler on the Minnesota Timberwolves at the end of this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I would too.
How do you feel?
I think that the longer this goes, the less power the Minnesota Timberwolves have. And I think, and tell me if I'm wrong here, the only reason Jimmy Butler is still in Minnesota is because of one person, Tom Thibodeau. Mm-hmm. Another person who is on the hot seat.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely on the hot seat. That team is a wreck right now. A wreck.
I don't understand. I feel like he wants to bring everybody that he had in Chicago, who's now older.
And yeah, he does. He wants to bring them all to the Timberwolves, which he's still like in love with his Chicago Bulls team. I
feel like he feels like he's still in Chicago. Let's talk about another coach now.
What is the Rockets coach name? I'm blanking out. What is his name?
Mike D'Antoni?
Mike D'Antoni. Do you think he's on the hot seat after that super slow start for the Rockets?
No. Mike D'Antoni's not on the hot seat.
Yeah. He could have got coach of the year last year. He was in the talks for coach of the year. But
Mike D'Antoni's not going to be on the hot seat. First of all, let me just hold on. While we're on the Rockets, this has to be talked about right now. Melo.
Melo. He's a cancer. He's a cancer to
is
teams.
a cancer. You look at the praise Sam Presti for what hell of a job he did. That was a hell of a deal for Sam Presti to get Dennis Schroeder for Carmelo Anthony, and he got out of all that money.
All the money that they owed. I mean,
what a job! What a job!
Every team that Melo goes to, everyone talks about when he goes there. Oh, they're
Melo,
going to be good.
No, Melo's not good.
We said that before the season started. We were like, he might ruin the Rockets. We talked about that before the season started.
And that's what's happening.
And that is literally what is happening in front of our eyes.
Melo needs to know his role. He thinks he is bigger.
He should be coming off the bench. He should be coming off the bench late in the game.
He's not a sixth man. He's a seventh or eighth man.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to say this. Carmelo needs to open his eyes and learn his role of the game.
And remember,
he is not what he used to be.
No, that jump shot used to be a good part of his arsenal. Now that's the only thing left in his arsenal. And he tries to dribble, and you see all these videos, hoodie Melo. Nobody's up in your face guarding you. You're doing that in the summertime when you're not fatigued over the year. Once you play back-to-back nights, you're not going to get a Melo like you see in the videos. Yes. No hoodie Melo. You might get that opening night, and you didn't even see it opening night. Carmelo Anthony is not the player he once was, and he needs to learn that so that he can help the Rockets. If the Rockets are going to be good, Melo needs to know his role.
He does, and that's just the truth. So you don't think Mike D'Antoni is on the hot seat?
No, but you know what surprised me? I saw a report on ESPN this morning. Scott Brooks is not on the hot seat in Washington with that 1-6 start.
Why do you think that?
They're 1-6, correct?
I know, why don't you think he's on the hot seat?
No. A report came out that said, he's not on the hot seat.
Yeah, I don't.
But you have a team that has been. I'm going to call it. I'll give him tonight because I want to see how that Oklahoma City game turns out tonight.
Yeah.
But you get Dwight Howard back tonight,
which I think they should have stuck with Marcin Gortat.
So this is where I get.
I think Dwight Howard needs the ball. John Wall needs the ball.
Bradley Beal needs the ball.
Bradley Beal needs the ball with Marcin Gortat.
You know who else needs the ball? Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
Kelly Oubre left there, correct?
Yes. And then, John Wall needs their whole team. It seems like on the offense, just our need to have the ball.
I feel like I'll give him tonight, like I said. Because they didn't have their big man that they signed.
Yeah.
But a team that, in my opinion, has been underproductive in past years. I just think that you need to make a change. And
I just see right here, Kelly Oubre didn't leave.
He didn't leave. I thought he was he a free agent this summer?
Yeah, and it looks like they re-signed him this summer. So he didn't leave, which I think might
even
make
the ball
team.
too. Yeah,
I think that might even make the team a little worse.
I've been too busy looking into football.
Yeah,
but
the Wizards. In the East, no one's really talking about the Wizards. If you're gonna be honest, no one's ever talking about what are the Wizards gonna do this year. They're always a mediocre team.
They're in the playoffs.
You know they're gonna be.
They might need to trust the process.
Okay, we are getting some good conversations out of these topics, but I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to keep it on NBA. And I'm assuming the majority of the people listening to this are relatively close to Philly or some type of Phillies fans. So we're going to look at the Sixers, and they're getting off to a slow start and possible.
Definitely not the start I wanted.
Yeah, but possible trade proposals to better the team, and also how do we feel about Jimmy Butler
first? All right, you want to talk about Jimmy Butler first, and then we'll go into
possible other trade proposals that can maybe benefit the team.
Jimmy Butler, great player. I think what happened in Minnesota, it's not a good. It's not a good place for him. I don't necessarily think that trading for Jimmy Butler right now is a good idea.
Why not?
I just don't like Reynolds.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely! You can't give up young prospects for people that you're not even sure.
I'm not gonna trade an all defensive player like Robert Covington, which has been he's been criticized.
He's having a very good start.
You know how I've always backed him. I've always thought that his defense made up for his lack of offense at sometimes and his over tendency to shoot the three ball.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I feel like he's done a lot better job of not taking as many threes. But yeah, I just don't like giving up prospects early, and a lot of, I don't like giving up a lot of picks like we did back in the day. I don't like giving up a lot of them.
Yeah, and that can just completely screw up the team.
It's just like in baseball, you can't sell the farm to win now.
All right, what about this? So say you could trade for Jimmy Butler, and you'll sign him.
A signing trade.
A signing trade. Would you give up Markelle Fultz and another first-round pick?
I would give up Markelle Fultz and Dario Saric.
And you just do that package for
I would send them a pair of second-round picks.
And I would do the same thing. To be honest, I would do the same thing.
I'm gonna put my input in there.
We're gonna talk about your personal preference of players later on. So if you have that, just
I'm
you gotta say it now.
Gonna stay on the Sixers, but I'm gonna have to hop off the Robert Covington train. I really just don't like him as a player, and I think we should see what we could get for him. If we could possibly give a Markelle Fultz, Dario, and Robert Covington to bring in a Jimmy Butler.
No, you'd have to get more than Jimmy Butler.
But maybe a first rounder on top of that. I would be personally okay with that because
you're not gonna get that.
Dario and Markelle are not bringing anything.
Dario is having just does not look the same.
While we're there, yeah, Dario Saric does not look good.
Yeah, he just doesn't. That's just a fact.
He looks number one. He looks awkward and uncomfortable outside the arc.
Yes,
he looks like he did not put in the work in the offseason. He
slow.
Looks
obviously, Joel Embiid said he didn't call him this offseason. Maybe he should have called him because his play has been god-awful this year.
Honestly, if you want me to be honest, it looks like he got into the Twinkie box on the offseason.
Like, hey.
Now, while we're at Robert Covington, let me tell you why I still have belief in Robert Covington.
Please do.
Because where is our defense coming from on that team besides Joel Embiid and Robert Covington? JJ Redick can't guard anybody in the league.
Oh, yeah.
He is one of the worst defenders in the league.
And now remember, what was that shot at the end game last year in the playoffs over J.J. Redick where you told me that you thought Robert Covington, if he was in the game...
And I said it against Boston.
Who was that? Who was he guarding? Was it Marcus Smart? Someone
It was somebody, but they were in the corner, and I said... And I was calling for it with about a minute left when we were up. Yeah. I said, Robert Covington needs to be in this game, not for his offense, but because he is as he got voted, first-team all-defense. Mm-hmm. You don't have a first-team all-defensive player on the bench in the last minute of a game when you are up.
Yeah.
I would call that a bad coaching decision by Brett Brown. But hey, I'll cut Brett Brown slack because that was his first playoff run with being the head honcho.
Yeah.
Yes, he got to see a lot of the. Don't get me wrong, he got to see a lot of years there in San Antonio, sitting right next to Pop, being his right-hand man. But I'll give him that one.
What do you think of Brett Brown?
I personally like Brett Brown. I think he fits.
What would you say? So say the Sixers finish mediocre this year, 41 and
So you're asking me if
41-41, 6 seed in the playoffs, get knocked out first round, what would you think of Brett Brown?
Is Brett Brown on the hot seat is what you're asking me after that? No. One more year. Because I attribute that to there being a lack of authority up top this year, I would say, because we obviously with what had happened with Brian Colangelo.
Yeah.
I didn't like him at first. I liked his father Jerry. I thought he was good.
I did not like him anywhere near the team, to be honest.
But so I would attribute that to that, not going out and getting pieces we wanted, because obviously you throw him into the interim GM role there. I mean,
could have a disaster.
Yeah, you could have a disaster, and he prevented that from happening, from making any bad moves by practically making zero moves.
Yeah. Which
I like, and don't get me wrong, I love Elton Brand. I love an in-house fix. I personally met Elton Brand multiple times, obviously going to the games a lot. I think we're in good hands with Elton Brand, and I think Elton Brand is going to set us up for the future in this coming year, especially this next offseason. And I think we have a real shot, depending on what happens with that Kawhi situation up in the north.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to see Boston, Philadelphia, and if Kawhi stays in Toronto, we're going to see those three teams be dominant, depending on what happens with Giannis up there. Now, I think that Malcolm Brogdon, he's done after this year.
Yeah,
He's gone
so
because I think the Dante DiVincenzo era starts.
And I do too. I really do too. I think he has so much. He has still potential.
Somebody we've all played with.
Yeah.
We played with him at Brandywine Springs. His dad was our coach.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to mature nicely and become a good
you're already seeing glimpses of it.
Yeah, really at least a good sixth man of the year.
What do you have? 15 points the other?
He played very good.
Points,
yeah,
12 points the game after. That's so solid for a first-year player.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still to this day, I don't care how many games Embiid played his rookie year, I still don't understand how Joel Embiid lost to Malcolm Brogdon in Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, doesn't even make sense. Yeah,
that is not even close.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid's an MVP candidate this year. Malcolm Brogdon's a next to nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so let me talk to you a little bit about how
more trades. We're talking about more trades.
Go for it.
Anybody want to say any names?
About trade offers for the Sixers? You're talking
about? I've heard rumors of Cleveland, obviously.
What about? So you see how the Sixers are just not a 3-point shooting team this year.
Absolutely.
They just are not a very.
I think I have the answer to this one.
I know your answer.
I think I know it, and I think we all can agree that
we need to bring back to Philly.
Kyle Korver needs to come back to Philly.
Will his return happen this year, Jared? Let me start with you. Will his return happen?
Kyle Korver. From what I've been told and what I've heard, Kyle Korver will be traded to the Philadelphia 76ers at some time this year. And remember, you heard it here. Kyle Korver for a second rounder, our latest second rounder.
Steal.
And Jared Bayless.
And look at it this way.
My question is, why would you not do that right this minute? I would take that deal in a heartbeat.
I'm signing the paper.
Because you think about
because you look at it, nobody. Yeah, JJ Redick's a good 3-point shooter on most occasions.
Yeah, which we have streaky 3-point shooters on this team. We need a consistent.
JJ Redick had an awful night the other night. Yeah, I get Kyle Korver's.
Shooter.
Kyle Korver's having the worst 3-point shoot of his career this year, shooting 33%. But look at his minutes.
And look at his minutes. Yes.
He can never get in a rhythm.
How can you even get hot?
How can you get in a rhythm being played 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 14 minutes?
Yeah.
I can't get hot off of that.
Yeah.
I mean...
What do you think, Connor?
And just look at this. Just imagine the Sixers having a JJ Redick threat and a Kyle Korver threat. That on the court at the same time.
5 seconds left in the game. Guard one of them. I dare you.
Yeah,
double team one of them. I dare you.
I hope you double team. That's a step down from a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson.
It really is.
It really is. And obviously they're much older. Yes, we're not. Don't get us wrong. We're not comparing them.
Oh no.
But Kyle Korver, top 3.
Pure
shooter. I'm not saying about his talent. I'm not talking about anything else. Obviously, he's not even in a pure.
Who is your 1 and 2 in front of him?
Obviously.
Steph's got to be 1.
Steph's 2.
Steph's 2.
I'm gonna break that news.
Who is above Steph?
Ray Allen is number 1 all time.
I'm gonna disagree with you. I think Steph is the most amazing shooter I've ever seen in my life, and I think
what Ray
Allen.
What I'm saying is
a pure shooter, so catch and shoot. Which
I
still think
Steph Curry. I could see anybody's argument. And those are the only two you can argue: really? Steph Curry or Ray Allen. You can't go anywhere else. I'm not saying Kyle Korver's. Yes, Kyle Korver was great. I mean, he's obviously the.
Who would be your number 4 then, so people can argue whether Kyle Korver should even be in the top 3? Man, it's tough. It is very tough.
You got a lot of good shooters.
So many people.
I think Klay Thompson's in the top 7.
I think Klay Thompson is in the top 3 for best shooters ever.
Whoa, that's a hot take.
No.
I will personally take Steph Curry and Klay Thompson at the 1 and 2 and have Ray Allen down at 3.
I'm not doing that. I gotta take Steph 1, Ray Allen 2.
Who's your 3rd?
Klay Thompson just hit 14 3-pointers in one game, and he didn't even play the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yes,
he could have had
has
23 pointers that game.
Has Klay Thompson ever hit 128 straight games of threes, which my man Kyle Korver has done?
You gotta love
the only time that has ever been broken is by I could agree with you. I have it virtually tied. I'll call it tied. You know what? I'll call it tied. Steph Curry and Ray Allen are identical right now because Ray Allen's the closest person to ever get to 3,000 threes, which Steph Curry will be.
He will
be the first player to ever reach 3,000 threes for sure. Kyle Korver, by the time it's done, by the time we're done and gone, will be a top 3 3-point shooter of all time because I don't see Clay catching him because Clay is streaky.
Clay won't.
It'll be, and I'll say right now because what Korver's 4 right now I think.
Korver's 4, yeah.
It'll be Steph Curry by a lot.
By a lot.
It'll be right down at like 2,900 and something, and Korver will be right below them.
I don't disagree, honestly. I don't disagree. I love Korver, just a consistent shooter. And
I do love Korver too, but I just
and I think why we like Korver is because he's so likable.
And what also
he's just a stand-up guy.
What people don't understand about Korver is most of us weren't watching him consistently while he was in his prime. People forget his prime a lot now.
And
people, people forget how he was in his prime.
I was one of the first NBA players I ever met. I mean, I followed him when he went to Utah, when he went to his first when he went to Chicago.
Yeah.
And then when he went to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Atlanta, he was an all-star.
Yeah, he was.
On that team.
He was.
I mean,
and but I just think that he's a perfect fit for the Sixers. Ben Simmons with the ball in his hands, he's always looking to kick. He has virtually nobody to kick to. Robert Covington, J.J. Redick are streaky shooters. They can be
Dario Saric can't shoot the 3.
They can be super cold.
I mean, you could really make an argument that besides J.J. Redick, Joel Embiid is our best 3-point shooter.
Seriously.
And then Robert Covington.
And if that doesn't cause for concern as a GM looking for shooters, that's something that you really got to address.
You have to.
Especially with Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz.
Obviously, J.R. Smith said today he wants a trade, and he will not accept or even think about negotiating a buyout. So that they will deal him. Kevin Love out for 6 weeks now. That team is going to be
one of the worst teams ever.
Garbage of the NBA.
They really for sure. I knew that as soon as LeBron leaves.
Which is terrible. I don't like the move by LeBron. Obviously.
I personally, he should have been a Sixer. Did
you see the report today?
What was it?
LeBron James came out today and said he wasn't even considering giving Philadelphia a
chance.
A chance.
A real chance.
No.
He was just certain.
I think that has to do with the location. Like he probably wants to end his career in Los Angeles,
and he wants to promote himself in LA and everything, which I understand. But if he wants to win championships,
you know what my problem was with LeBron James leaving Cleveland.
What?
I get he fulfilled his goal. He doesn't owe that city anything. Yes, we all get that. We all agree on that.
Yeah.
Yes. My thing is, I have a problem with him leaving there after you read his letter. If you read his letter again, he says, I always imagined I would come home to Cleveland and finish my career. I just didn't know when. Maybe he shouldn't have used those words.
Yes, exactly.
If he was going to backstab this city, because that's what it is. Don't get it wrong. That's what it is. He's backstabbing the city by them thinking, okay, we got LeBron. He's here.
Especially when he says
when you use those words, people were so happy. And that city, I've been there multiple times when I go out to Cleveland to watch Indians games. That city, without LeBron, is so much different than with LeBron. You get so much more people coming in the city, and it just makes Cleveland a better place when LeBron's there.
Yeah, I think Kyrie leaving has.
I just think he was in Cleveland and he was.
And you know what happened, right? Don't get it wrong. Kyrie didn't want to leave. Kyrie was they tried to trade Kyrie, and then he found out about it, and then he wanted out.
Yeah.
So don't blame that on Kyrie. That's your own damn fault.
Yeah. And I know
because I would want out if somebody tried to trade me, and it was the owner that did it. Don't get that wrong.
And
it was Dan Gilbert. It wasn't David.
And once LeBron started losing trust in Dan Gilbert, he was done. He was mentally done with that team.
All right, let's move on. Playoff predictions. Who you think wins the East? Who you think wins the West? Obviously, the West is over.
Yeah, seriously, the West is over.
Let's just not talk.
The Warriors win the West. Obviously,
I think anybody. Well, first of all, let me just put it this way: Houston, current state, ain't even gonna touch them.
No.
I think the only team, I know you two don't like Russ, but I think that team, if they come together and play well,
If they come together.
What they're doing right now.
The only team...
Cough, cough, Russ can't shoot.
The only team in the NBA that has a remote shot to win 2 games against the Warriors in the finals is the Celtics. The Celtics match up super well with them. They have the best coach in basketball.
I would disagree.
They have the best coach in basketball.
I would think that the Toronto Raptors, with their being defensive-minded now, with
Listen
Kawhi...
to this. The Celtics are a deep team.
Their bench is like no other.
The Warriors are not as deep as them. The Warriors do not... yes, Steve Kerr, he's a good coach. He's not as good as people give him credit for. He has the monster powerhouse team. The Celtics have the best coach in basketball right now to scheme up anything on... And they have a
Besides
good team.
Greg Popovich.
He's better than Greg. He took that over. Brad Stevens is the best coach in basketball right now.
He's got so much firepower.
Yeah, but if you look up the play designs that he makes in inbound plays, last-second shots, it's ridiculous. He gets people wide open.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane to
Remember
watch.
that one against the Lakers?
Yes. Oh, my gosh, yes.
He just... What did they have?
Okay,
1,
so you
2
guys
seconds
are
left
both
to get an
going
open
with
shot?
Boston. You guys both
I
going
think
with
Boston wins the East. Start of the season, I was seriously thinking the Sixers would be able just because they
don't get it wrong. Sixers aren't winning the East unless they make a move.
They seriously. And,
yeah.
And
let's just get that right.
And I just thought the Sixers could win the East because of Joel Embiid and how Boston...
Don't get me wrong. Joel Embiid, if he's not Defensive Player of the Year this year, it's rigged.
It really is. And
because
you know who's a very hot candidate for that too? Is Kawhi, who's playing outstanding.
Oh, absolutely. But
right now, but Joel, I know.
Joel Embiid, what, he had 4 blocks last night?
He's playing
41, 13, 4, and 4.
And what I think too, if you really watch Sixers games, people always talk about how they're a good defensive team and stuff, which they are. They're a decent good defensive team. But if they didn't have Joel Embiid...
Or Robert Covington.
Just Joel Embiid, though. If you take him out on defense, they are not...
They're losing to the Cavaliers.
They are a mediocre defense.
Maybe not.
They are a mediocre defense without Joel Embiid.
I saw last
night Markelle Fultz get crossed up, go to the hole, and Joel Embiid comes out and swats it, and then nobody even remembers Markelle getting his ankles broke.
You know what a team? While we're on NBA, while we're finishing up on NBA, you know a team that's really shocked me this year is the play of De'Aaron Fox and the Sacramento Kings.
Yes. He's doing. The Sacramento Kings are playing out.
They are the 7 seed in the West right now.
Yeah.
In the West, they're 5-3.
Yeah, very good team.
I mean, they got that new arena.
Yeah. So do the Bucks.
No, but I'm saying that new arena. I mean, Sacramento.
I have high hopes for De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, I thought he was
Sacramento. That's a team last year. People were talking about possibly moving back up and being the new Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I personally have high hopes for De'Aaron Fox because I truly believe that he could be a young version of John Wall.
I honestly don't disagree. He's a very, very good player. He really is.
Anything else you guys want to talk about in basketball? Anything you could think of?
I think we got it all out.
I think everything.
I think it was a good talk.
Yeah.
So
I think it was a very solid basketball talk.
Okay, we are going to wrap up NBA talk, and we're gonna hit the big topic.
Move right into NFL.
All right. That's what everyone wants to hear, and that's what we're gonna talk
big
about.
Topics right now.
It's huge.
So let me just bring up something off the start.
How
are we feeling about the trade deadline and the moves
passed.
made by the? Let's start this one off. How do we feel?
I think everybody. Don't get me wrong. Everybody in the NFC East, besides the one team, won. It's the Eagles, and you can't look at it any other way.
I can't disagree with you because they picked up a rental player. That's basically what they did.
What is it? Week
a
39-year-old rental player.
Maybe even week 10, something like that. Week
9. So you're gonna pick up a aged Golden State for a pick. You don't know that pick. You missed the playoffs. That pick could be a top 75 pick.
Yes.
Top 75 pick. Remember, NFL drafts are a lot different than all the rest. Besides maybe baseball, you don't get a lot of just great players and then it falls off drastically. You get good position players throughout there. So you just gave up somebody who could have a great potential for a rental player.
Yes.
And while we're at it, talking about the Lions here, if you have a fantasy team right now, you should try and start Marvin Jones Jr.
Yes.
Because Marvin Jones
Oh, yeah.
Jr., his targets and I have him in my keeper league. His targets are going to go through the roof, and his receptions, especially in a PPR league, that is Matthew Stafford's number one target now. So
Absolutely.
if you want a good trade, go find yourself Marvin Jones.
Let me put it this way. I personally think that the reason the Eagles didn't do too much to help their team,
They're in the middle. They don't know where they are.
They really
I think
don't.
they personally
They have
they're
so many,
slacking on defense.
They have so many holes in this team.
The holes in their defense are insane. They got 2 below average cornerbacks.
They really do.
Yeah.
They really do. Very
2
below average.
And you look at what Washington just did. They have 2 of the best.
2, yes.
And then look who they pick up. They go get
They get
Quentin Diggs.
Yeah, exactly.
And like
Great trade.
And the Eagles don't even consider that, which just blows my mind. And then they're going to get...
And has a year left on his deal, I believe.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
then
not
they're
a
going to
rental.
get a rental player who I'm sure will not be there next year, who's also another slot receiver, which they have... Their team's full of slot receivers.
And I'll be honest with you,
I
I was very shocked they won the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just your time.
It really is.
You might not be the best team in the NFL, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just destiny.
And to be honest, Nick Foles played one of the greatest Super Bowl games I've ever witnessed in my life.
Nick
He
Foles
stepped
carried
up.
that team.
He threw on a backpack and put his team in the backpack.
Yeah, he carried
Yes,
the
that's
team
what
to
he
that
did.
Super Bowl. And if Carson Wentz was playing in that Super Bowl, they don't win. They don't win that Super Bowl with Carson Wentz. There's no way any other player could go in
It
there
just
and
couldn't
play
go
like
that
that. Absolutely not.
Everything went their way. I mean, look at that play, the Philly special.
Yeah.
That's the amount of trust you have to have
Yeah.
in your quarterback to run that play
Yeah.
at that situation.
And not only your quarterback, your backup quarterback.
Yeah, your backup quarterback.
Who could start for most teams in the NFL? Who won in the Super Bowl?
Could last year. He's fallen off.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was sometimes when your adrenaline gets rushing through your body, it's just second nature. You just do what you do, and it happens.
What do you think of? What do you think of?
Who do I
Eagles?
think wins the? So you're asking me who do I think wins the East?
Yeah. Who do you think wins?
If
the
I had to take,
And
well,
do you
first
think-
of all,
and
I've
you
already bet on it.
Yeah.
Week 1 after the Eagles won that first game, I went down. I took the Redskins at 9-1 odds for $30, 30 to win 270.
Yeah. And
I still think Washington, especially with HaHa now,
yeah.
has with Adrian Peterson, man.
He's just playing
Adrian
crazy.
Peterson,
He's
the
playing out of his
ageless
mind.
one.
He's really playing out of his mind this year. He really is.
I still think Washington wins the division. I think Dallas makes a late push to try to steal the division.
And since we're in the Philly area, everybody either loves or hates the Eagles around here. What do you think the Eagles do this year? What do you think their record will be?
I said
I
said this to people week 1 while I was watching the Eagles game. I think I might have texted you this. The Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons would both miss the playoffs. I said that week 1, and I said that
agree with
night.
that.
And look how it's playing out.
The Eagles are not making the playoffs. The
Eagles are just coming off the Super Bowl. They got the hardest schedule. What do they got ahead of them? The Saints, the Rams.
They
Come
have
on
the
now.
Saints, Rams. They have the Texans.
You
Again.
got the Redskins,
the Redskins
twice.
They have the Cowboys again. The Eagles fans don't know what they're getting.
They got Cowboys twice.
They have the Cowboys twice again. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
I mean,
Even if you split them, you can't make up the difference.
Exactly.
The
Because
Eagles fans,
that's 4 losses right there. Because you might
not
win one.
beating the Rams.
You win one against Washington, one against Dallas. What's the record right now? They're 500. They're 4-4. They're 4-4. So that puts you at 6-8.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, people would have said, okay, 8-8 wins that division maybe.
Yeah.
I always said it would be 10-6 would win the division, just like the old days of the East, back when it was Clinton Portis and it was Tony Romo with Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean,
let me just say this. No
let's
hate on the Eagles.
Let's stay on the trade deadline though. While we're at the Cowboys, Amari Cooper.
Yes.
I know people love roasting the trade up. Great trade.
Well,
It was a great trade. Think
gonna
about this: the Cowboys need a receiver. The Cowboys
He got
need
one more year on his deal.
a receiver. He has one more year on his deal. They needed a receiver. If you look at this upcoming draft, there will not be a receiver going in the first round of that draft. So he's 24 years old. I don't know how that's a bad trade in any way at all when they were already planning to get a receiver in the first round. You're not going to get a receiver like Amari Cooper. And Derek Carr held Amari Cooper back, which I know Dak Prescott could easily hold Amari Cooper back too. That's a fact. He easily could. But Amari Cooper's a great receiver. He made the Pro Bowl 2 of his first 3 years. And, I just think it's a great trade. I really do.
Connor, I'll let you go first because I have a lot of input on this.
What I've been wanting to say is no hate against the Eagles. I think that the Eagles fans they want to think that the Cowboys are no threat to them because of how the quarterback has been playing.
They wanted to put that in their heads to make them feel safe.
Yes, but I want to tell you right now, mark my words, the Cowboys are going to give the Eagles problems this year.
Yeah, they will.
Big time. They play each other twice, which both of the games have meaning to.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, you run a little off topic, but let's talk about what your brother said, the Amari Cooper deal. What's your opinion?
I personally think that Amari Cooper could fix a lot of holes in the Cowboys' offense.
But you got one hole that's too big. It's a gaping hole in Dallas. It's a gaping hole.
The quarterback?
And his name's Jason Garrett.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Absolutely the worst.
Don't even.
That is. I think he's a horrible. That would blow that hole. That hole is big enough to fill up that whole wall right there.
But we're talking about the trade. Yeah, I like the trade.
And here's why I don't like the trade.
Let's see.
Here's why I don't like the trade. Amari Cooper's a good receiver, right?
Yeah.
He just drops the ball too much for me.
But think about
that. Is his now. Don't get me wrong. I could be totally wrong on this because a change of scenery, especially with
they gave up on
John Gruden.
What a jerk that is. We'll get into
I'm a Redskin fan, and I don't like his brother either.
We'll get into that in a little bit.
We'll get into that in a minute here.
That's just embarrassing.
Currently, I don't like the deal because I would have been more inclined to give up a second rounder and a sixth rounder before I give up a first rounder.
But why? What would you? If they're already getting a receiver in the first,
because you don't know what could happen. Say Zeke goes down, your team's not that great anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you might find yourself in the top 15 pick, even higher.
The way I look at it is, the Cowboys probably said, "Oh, you want Amari Cooper for a first-round pick?" They probably looked at the prospects coming into the next draft, and there's nobody coming out of that.
There won't be a
first round.
Now, I still think
to compare to Amari
And when
Cooper.
I said, I feel like everybody in this trade deadline won in the East except the Eagles. I still feel like the Cowboys won because they fixed a hole now. I'm just worried about them for the future. That's why I would be questioning.
They have the top 1 or 2 defense in the NFL right now.
I would agree. Their defense is very good. It's very underrated.
It's actually ranked in top 1 or 2. It goes
people
Ravens,
underrated,
and then it goes Cowboys if you look at ratings right now. So they have a great defense.
I think Chicago's up there.
No, Chicago's third now. Chicago's third after they played. I don't remember, but so they have great cornerbacks. They have a very solid safety group. They have amazing linebackers. A great defensive line. They have a great offensive line. They have a great running back. They have a decent quarterback. They have no wide receivers.
I'll put you right there. I agree on everything you said except a decent quarterback.
He's a decent quarterback.
You have a slightly below average quarterback.
I don't know if he's below average.
He really is.
You can't really say that right now because the only target he has to throw right now is Cole Beasley, who's a slot receiver.
Yeah.
Alan Hearns has not gotten open for one pass this whole year.
Yeah,
he really hasn't looked his way.
I've looked.
See, you know who I actually don't like them getting rid of. A part of this deal, why I said I don't like the trade was because of who they cut to fill that spot.
Dez?
No. Bryce Butler.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about Bryce Butler.
Bryce Butler's a very underrated receiver.
Yeah, he is, and he can separate downfield. He's fast.
And they brought him back this year, like week 5, I think it was.
Yeah, didn't even play him.
They barely played him.
He got him maybe 3 snaps the whole game.
I just thought that, and I think that comes a lot with coaching again.
Yeah, it does.
And I think that's a lot of reasons why their receivers don't develop well. I feel like if you need to give Alan Hearns, what is he?
He's on a 2-year deal. They have a very good receiving coach. They have horrible play calling. They design horrible plays.
Let's move on from the East now, because I don't even think the Giants are worth mentioning. They're not worth our time.
Wait, let's just predict. Just tell these Eagles fans
order?
what you think the Eagles' record will be to end the season. What do you think the Eagles? We already know the order. You already said it. Redskins, Cowboys. What do you think the Eagles' record ends at?
I'm gonna say the Eagles at best. At best. I mean, this is if everything goes right, or is 8-8. What I think they're gonna be, I think they're either gonna be I don't necessarily think they'll be a 6-10 team. Mm-hmm. They could be. They very well could be. Because if you lose both those games to Washington, both those games to Dallas, and then you're gonna lose the Saints and Rams
and probably Texans.
They put okay. Let me rephrase that. There is no way the Eagles get to 8-8 if they play the Texans as well.
They do.
Because the let me say this. Deshaun Watson.
Oh, he's going to shred them.
And with that trade they just made down there?
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. We didn't even hit on Demaryius Thomas.
That's what we're still talking about. But Demaryius Thomas, let me say this. If they re-sign him in the offseason,
seriously,
you now have 3 top-tier receivers.
Oh my gosh.
You have Will Fuller, Thomas,
and DeAndre
Hopkins.
And an out-of-this-world athletic quarterback.
Oh, my God.
A very good quarterback. He's super accurate with the ball.
First of all, let me just say this. The Houston Texans did a wonderful job drafting him.
Oh, yeah.
Because people slept on him forever.
And remember, Clemson's coach, his name
Dabo Swinney.
Dabo Swinney was telling them they are going to regret if you do not take Deshaun Watson. And... I mean, you regret it. The teams that didn't get it, you regret it now.
Yeah.
The Browns. I mean, I like Baker, but he's not Deshaun Watson.
No. Let me tell you this: the 2 best young I'll give you the top 3 best young quarterbacks.
What do you mean by young? First 3 years.
This is their first 2 years.
First 2 years, all right.
So this is Watson's sophomore season. Yep. So Watson's 1.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield's 2.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you have a host of players.
I think it goes.
Is Pat Mahomes in his second year or third?
He's in his
third.
Second. No.
Is he?
He's in his second.
Okay.
Second season.
Okay. Baker Mayfield's getting knocked down one more.
Yep.
Pat Mahomes
back
is playing
on down
out of his
because he was drafted 10th.
10th overall. Remember, Andy Reid loved him, moved up in the draft, snagged him. Wow.
Let's go to another mistake by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Andy Reid.
Yeah. Seriously.
Maybe if you gave him the keys to the kingdom and let him dictate what they're doing in Kansas City, because Kansas City's a real threat this year. Don't get it mistaken. Don't get it mistaken.
I don't think anyone has that mistaken. They have been.
We're moving on. We're moving on to that in a second. But let's just finish this.
I've seen in years.
I'll go. Future. We're not talking about just this year. I'm saying I'm still sticking with Deshaun Watson is number 1 for future and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is young, and then I'm going absolutely directly after him, Pat Mahomes, and then after him, Baker Mayfield.
You want to hear my 3?
Yeah.
On the future, I'm talking.
We're talking top 2 first 2 years.
2 first years. I'm talking down the line, maybe 10 years from now.
I think Jared is definitely sleeping on one person.
Sam Darnold's my 4.
Oh,
Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Baker. Sam Darnold is a better quarterback.
I have
than Baker.
him in my keeper league.
He's a better quarterback than Baker. He's way better with the ball. He can throw. He's way more accurate than Baker.
You know what my problem is with him is
what?
His turnover ratio. That is the only thing. No. He did that. I watched him.
He did that at USC. Yeah.
I watched him in USC, and I saw a game where he turned the ball over 4 times.
But Jared, he's through the roof potential.
Yes, oh, absolutely.
He has one of the most pure arms I've seen in such a long time coming out of the draft.
He is a 21-year-old kid. He just cracked his first beer.
Seriously.
He has
shout out us next week.
Yes, exactly.
Shout out us next week.
Exactly. But if I go top 3, I'm going Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold could easily.
Who's 4?
Baker for me, at least.
Baker, and then right after that, I'm going to go, I don't know, I would probably say Josh Allen because he's got better athletic potential than Rosen.
He's taller, can throw the ball.
And I would put Rosen at 5.
Absolutely.
I'll put Rosen at 5.
Yeah.
But I think Allen's a better athletic I think that's why I give him the edge over Rosen. But yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, and let's just, while we're in that division, let's talk about Jacksonville.
What happened to them? Are they even a team anymore?
I thought that was going to be a team that would be good for years.
I didn't. I was completely opposite. Connor, I've told you that.
Blake Bortles is not.
Well, no. That's my only flaw is Blake Bortles. If you look at that defense and you look at who they had offensively in Leonard Fournette, you get rid of Blake Bortles, you're fine down there. You're golden.
I don't know what they were seeing in him.
You were really golden.
They liked
him. You know who Jacksonville should really go pursue right now, who would fit well in their offense, would be Teddy Bridgewater.
You know who they actually, that is perfect. That's actually, I thought
it just works for him. And first of all, how can you let Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson walk?
Exactly, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, especially Allen Robinson.
Now let me tell you something. You know what would be a good trade for the Cleveland Browns is to reunite Baker Mayfield and Dede Gregorius, or Dede Westbrook. Sorry, I was too Dede. Yeah, you know.
But
I'm still thinking
honestly,
about Dede Westbrook. Sorry.
That's actually a good idea, to be honest.
They played phenomenal for years at Oklahoma.
Seriously. What about the Browns head coaching thing? Hugh Jackson getting fired.
I think that's a great move. Hugh Jackson was not the man for the job.
And if you see him outside of after losing the job, that even proves even more he wasn't the coach for them, throwing the blame around, saying I wanted Wentz, I wanted Deshaun Watson. No, you didn't. He's
how
a liar.
You can throw
he just
Baker Mayfield under the bus like that is so.
He said Baker Mayfield might be a superstar, but he has to have the right people around him and the right offensive schemes that fit him. So
throwing Baker Mayfield under the bus like that is so
uncalled for.
Yeah, he said he wanted Wentz, Deshaun Watson, and Patrick Mahomes. He said he wanted them so bad on the team, and he didn't get his way. So I mean, just after hearing that, that's just really
so
immature.
Unprofessional.
Just immature. After losing your job, you're going to say that. I mean, of course he is, though.
How you can throw a man who his livelihood.
Do you think Lincoln Riley moves up from college football?
I don't see how Lincoln Riley could leave Oklahoma.
Yeah, me either. I don't think it happens.
You know who I would love to see, but he'll never get a job?
Who?
I would love to see Lovie Smith get another shot in the NFL. Because I have a problem. I have a lot of problems. I have a problem with a lot of things that's gone down in Tampa Bay over the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
How Lovie Smith can take over a... What was it? 2-14 team.
Yeah.
Turn them in 1 year to a 4-12 team.
Yeah.
And turn around and get fired over the phone.
Seriously. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I've seen Hugh Jackson got 3 years of doing nothing.
What is he?
Lovie
3 and
and you look at it. What was it? The year that the Bears played the Colts in the Super Bowl.
2006.
Yep.
So that's 2006-2007 season.
Lovie Smith took a average team. The best player on that team is Devin Hester.
Might have been the kick returner for the team.
Yep.
Yeah. Who was their quarterback? Rex Grossman.
Was it Rex Grossman or was it Jay Cutler? I think it was
Rex Grossman.
I think it was Rexy.
It was Rex.
I just don't see. I mean, and he's obviously you don't get any.
Yeah, you can't deny he's a good coach.
You can't get any type of recruits in Illinois.
Yeah, it really is hard. It really
You put him in a You put him in a spot like in Texas. I feel like he thrives so much better.
An LA team, something like that.
But yeah, I mean,
want to move on to the last NFL topic of the night. The John Gruden. John Gruden, what do you think of that? The last NFL topic of the night.
Let me just give you how I feel about him.
Wait, first of all, just put this out. 10 years, $100 million.
Can we all laugh at that?
Yes.
I think we all can.
Yeah. I think we all.
I think I can get. Hey, pay me $20 million. I'll go lose for 10 straight years.
Yeah, that's a lot. Well, you know what lets me know all. So you know how he wants to build through the draft.
I can't believe.
He wants the first pick, which he is. He's going to get like 3 first-round picks this year. But
who's in this draft?
So was he the coach during this draft that just came up? Was he coaching that team when this draft came?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Did you? Well, so he chooses an offensive lineman as the 15th pick, and he chooses an offensive lineman, Colton Miller, who is god awful. and people were ranking him in as a sixth round something offensive lineman, which just shows like just a stupid move by Gruden. They had an elite offensive line the year before Gruden was there. When Gruden comes in, their offensive line just goes to absolute garbage. So like Gruden wants to go through the draft, but I don't even know if I trust him to go through the draft.
His seat has to be burning.
It's
his
not,
seat's
though.
not,
it's not
I know.
because they love him.
If his seat's not burning, I don't.
I think he personally knows, but
I think he needs to get on the phone. I think he needs to get on the phone and say, "Listen, just give me $50 million. I'll go back to Monday Night Football and start doing film again."
I would say the same thing.
I would give it if I was the Raiders. I'm giving him $50 million. Say, okay, adios.
Yeah, same. I would too. I mean, there's no way you can pay that man. I don't trust him to build through the draft. He's a very overrated coach.
I'll give him another year, but I just don't like the way he's just given up on his team. I mean, it's just not. It doesn't show good leadership.
I know. If you guys watch Raiders games, which I'm sure you don't, because nobody.
Oh, let's talk about what happened last night.
They just give up. They just give up on Gruden.
Last night that
oh yeah,
one hell of a show.
Oh, that was like a grenade went off.
So they have a third string quarterback. First, his starting game, 22 years old, Nick Mullins. Don't even know his name.
He comes out and
swinging.
Shreds your defense.
Shreds them.
And this is the same coach that said Khalil Mack didn't want to be here.
Yes.
Khalil didn't want to be here, my ass.
Yeah. Khalil said after he traded, he wanted to
first
stay
of all,
there.
you look at all the greats that have you look at all the greats that have played on Oakland's defense. That's what I'm saying. If you're a defensive player,
yes,
you dream about maybe playing for the Oakland Raiders at that defense.
Yes,
look at Charles Woods.
And then what are you gonna? You can't trade a guy like Khalil Mack who's a generational player.
What did he get? 3 first rounders?
No, he got a first round.
No, he got
I think he might have got two first
rounders or something. But you cannot trade a generational player who's you're not going to see anyone like that in the draft. I don't care if you're the first pick in the draft. You're not picking.
Okay, well, I'll say that the Khalil.
He's like the next
Khalil Mack trade.
What was his name? Jared Allen.
Oh
the Vikings.
My gosh!
He's
like seriously,
he's like the next Jared Allen.
And like just Gruden, I don't know. There's just something about him. If you saw what he said after the game, he says
you know how I've always felt about his brother.
Oh gosh, don't even start it.
And me being a Washington fan, I've never. First of all, Dan Schneider. Gotta go. Gotta sell the team. The only reason I don't want him to sell the team is because they'll change the name.
Yeah. Oh, they definitely will.
Dan Schneider, if you ever listen to this, that's the only thing you've ever done right for the organization, besides drafting Sean Taylor.
And then, if you heard Gruden after the game, though, what he says after the game, he says, I'm going to build a championship team here. That's what he says after the draft. Like, no, you're not, Gruden. You're not building a championship team.
I can't believe he would have the audacity to say that
after
I lost. I wouldn't even know what to say at the stand.
I mean, Gruden,
I'm getting $100 million. I'm gonna be dumbfounded that my team's playing that bad.
Yeah,
I'll say that the Khalil Mack trade, I wouldn't put that too much on him. But what I do have problems with is you get rid of Khalil Mack, and then right after that you go and boot Amari Cooper, your best wide receiver.
They got rid of 2 of their top.
You know who's going next,
telling
right?
everyone that you're done.
Derek Carr's going next.
Then why did Gruden come out and say Derek Carr's our quarterback for next year and the years following? Which Derek Carr should be next. Derek Carr
it's a lie.
But you know what?
Lie.
But listen. So how is Gruden Gruden's supposed to be the greatest quarterback coach of all time. Everyone was like, he's a magician with quarterbacks. How does Derek Carr
He better wave his magical wand soon.
How do you let Derek Carr look like that? Derek Carr was a good player 2 years ago. Actually, a very good player. He got paid $120 million, and now he looks like this. I don't know.
Maybe he's taking that contract on.
Gruden, you might have ruined
that might be why he said he's going to be our quarterback, because nobody's taking that contract on.
Oh God, no.
Let me finish up with one more thing, because I did want to touch on one more thing. Who are your top 3 running backs in the league?
I'll open up for that if you.
Yeah, we're each gonna reveal our number 1.
Okay, number 1.
Who's your number 1?
You just can't deny that it's Todd Gurley.
Yeah, I'm going with Todd Gurley.
I'm going with Todd Gurley.
Okay, we all agree Todd Gurley's Gurley gone.
He's playing like a beast this year,
really
just
is.
like he was last year, and just like I think he's going to continue to do for the rest of his career.
We'll go the opposite way. Who's your number 2?
My number 2 of pure running back is Ezekiel Elliott. Of pure running back. Don't look about receiving yards, all that. Pure running back. It's Ezekiel Elliott.
I'm going to agree with that. Number 2, I'm going to put Ezekiel Elliott.
I will. I'll be the first to disagree here. I'm going to go ahead and say that Alvin Kamara is the number 2 running back in the league. Who's your number 3? Or do you have a problem with that? Do you have a major problem with that?
No, I don't have a major problem
Not
with that
at all. My number 3 is Alvin Kamara. That's my number 3.
Yeah. That's my number 3 too.
That's my number 3.
And see, when I was thinking about this earlier about who's going to be my 3 and who would just be my 4, it came down to 2 players: Ezekiel Elliott and Melvin Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you guys put Melvin Gordon at 4?
Yeah, I think that.
I would honestly.
I think that debating between Zeke and Melvin Gordon isn't really.
It's not that.
I think
really
Zeke's way better.
No, I don't think it's that. I don't think Zeke's that much better. I think Zeke is definitely a top 2 running back.
No, I'm talking about where do you put Melvin Gordon in?
I put Melvin
4?
Gordon in the top 5 because there's just something about me that.
Kareem Hunt?
Not Kareem Hunt. There's something about how bad the Cardinals.
Thank you very much. My point next
is Dave. I've put David Johnson at 3 because if he just had a good coach, a decent offense, their offense.
I thought you said you put Alvin Kamara at 3.
Oh, yeah, 4. Alvin Kamara is definitely my 3, and then so David Johnson at the 4. If they just had a decent offense, something that they couldn't just load the box on him every single time, then I think he's the 4th best running back in the league, and I'll have Melvin Gordon after.
Yeah, I would rank.
I think David Johnson. Just think about what he did. Think about what he did. How dominant he was. The Cardinals have nobody.
The Cardinals should be embarrassed, and they should trade David Johnson.
I would get him just for his benefit.
But I would ask him because it's his right. I would say, if you want to go, we will willingly trade you because we are sorry that we stole money from you. Because remember, he signed for 3 years, $39 million, or was it 30? I thought it was 39.
I think it was 39. It could have been easily 30,
but I would. Yeah, I have a problem. Even I have it as almost a virtual tie. I'll go ahead and put Ezekiel Elliott at 3, and I'll put Melvin Gordon and David Johnson at 4 or 5. I don't really care. Obviously, if David Johnson gets traded, David Johnson makes a legitimate case to be a number 2 running back in this league.
To be a number 1 running back.
Yeah,
do you remember what he did?
Yeah, and
people forget what he did.
Yeah.
He looked like a monster.
And Josh Rosen is not developed yet, so and that's really where David Johnson becomes a dual threat with his passing.
Yeah.
When he gets out in the good luck. And then we'll end on this: best quarterback in the league.
Best quarterback in the league right now: Rodgers, Brady. You can even throw out
Patrick Mahomes.
And how he's playing.
I'm gonna
right now.
go ahead and say Patrick Mahomes is playing the best as of right now.
Who's the best?
Which the debate that everybody always is arguing about?
Rodgers or Brady?
So Rodgers, I think, is more skillful. Rodgers has more skills than Brady.
Yeah,
but he will never be on Brady's level just because Brady won everything. Yeah. 5 rings, so probably
especially
get 6
from where
rings.
he came from. The
6th rounder or something.
6th round pick.
And there's just no way. He 5 rings. He'll probably hit 6 rings.
199th pick out of Michigan.
It was something
or 200,
something
like that. Unbelievable. Yeah. So.
I think Rodgers has more skill though.
Rodgers
is more skill.
You guys want to go to what everybody's been waiting for?
The bets.
The bets. My locks of the week.
Ready for it.
Alrighty.
All right, Jared. Now that we're on to the betting, who do you like this week in college football? Saturday games. Who are your locks?
Well, first of all, Saturdays for the boys.
For the boys, obviously.
Texas, a team that was a 3-point favorite last week. I liked them. I knew that was my one game to watch last week. It was my sleeper pick. Homecoming, obviously, for Oklahoma State last week. Probably wasn't the smartest pick, but yeah, they got beat. Now you've reversed the script. Homecoming in Texas this week. You got a I believe, number 17th ranked West Virginia team coming in. Texas is a 2-point favorite. I like Texas minus 120 just to win the game. So for those of you who don't know a lot about betting, minus 120, for every 120 you lay, you win 100. Another game I like this week, I like Michigan State in Maryland to win, just to win, minus 140. I just think that Maryland, just too much turmoil going on right now. Obviously, Durkin got put back in, and then they fired him the next day.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't understand. I like that. I like that too, just because their heads are not going to be in the football mode
obviously, and don't get me wrong, I am not saying Durkin should have that job back. No, it's not. I don't know the full. I didn't read into it at all, but I'm not saying I disapprove or that I approve of him whatsoever. Let's just make that clear. And then games that I think you should just stay away from this week. I'm a big Irish fan. I would be hesitant to take the Irish by the money line even, but I definitely would not take them at minus 10 or at 10.5. Just because that is a very good Northwestern team up there. People sleep on them nonstop. And I just think you should stay away from that game. A team that you could you should also stay away from is Georgia this week. Georgia's minus 9 versus Kentucky team, which I know a lot of people thought that Kentucky had absolutely no shot of beating Missouri last week, and the book showed it. The books had Kentucky at a 6 to 7 point underdog last week, and I hammered them on it. It's just a stupid. You just got to look at it. Yeah, Kentucky has one of the worst red zone defenses or red zone offenses in the country, but they also have one of the best red zone defenses in the country. So yes, they're not going to score a lot of points on you unless it comes by way of defense, but you don't. That's just an SEC game that I would stay away from. And finally, my sleeper pick goes against the number 1 team by far in the country. Don't get me wrong. Alabama is the best team in the country without a doubt. Wouldn't you agree, Cole?
Oh, absolutely.
It's Alabama and then the field. But if you're going to tell me you're going to give LSU 14.5 points at home down there in Death Valley.
Yeah. And what are they, third ranked?
They're the third ranked team in the country. You're going to give me 14.5 points in an SEC rivalry game at home?
And even so, just say this pick
doesn't cover.
No, it doesn't cover. And so what Alabama always does is they take out their starters and they give up a lot of room in the fourth quarter.
You might get a lot of garbage time.
A lot of garbage
but
time. Maybe
I see this game being the first dogfight Alabama has. And let me be clear on this. Why I do think Alabama is the number 1 team in the country. I don't know if an Alabama team with only 1 or 2 ranked opponents could necessarily be a top 3 team if they lose a game.
Yeah.
Now, if it comes to LSU, that's a different story because LSU, obviously this would be the only place they would really lose a game. Auburn's not what they thought they were going to be. So if you look at Alabama's schedule, it's just like Notre Dame's. They flipped the script. It's not one of the best schedules in the country anymore.
Yeah.
But their strength of wins is good, which is what matters. So a sleeper pick, I would go with LSU this week. I wouldn't bet the house on it, but I think it's something you could look at and parlay it maybe with Texas and Michigan State, and you might be able to make a little bang for your money.
What about NFL? NFL picks for Sunday.
NFL, I mean, you
5 locks. I need 5 locks.
You look at the Bears, great team already, but then you look at the Bills and who they're starting at quarterback this week, Nathan Peterman. I mean, he has to be one of the top 5 worst quarterbacks in the NFL.
Ever play.
Yeah, he's bad. He's bad.
He's very bad.
Another team I like, the Bears would be my number 1 lock. That's it. Obviously, Patriots minus 120. Take them to win. Aaron Rodgers is They don't have the pieces anymore.
They don't, and they're playing in Foxborough.
Yeah, so you're done. Another lock I loaded up on the Houston Texans. I just don't understand how you can have a team be an underdog when you just traded the team they're playing. The team they're playing just traded them their best wide receiver.
Yeah, the Texans go and play the Broncos. Yeah, I think that should be a definite lock.
And then I go with two sleeper picks. Two sleeper picks here. This one's more of a lock than the next one. So if you're gonna bet the Bucks this weekend, Fitzmagic, baby, he's back.
He's back.
Hey, I'm on the Fitzmagic
another point we didn't get onto, which we will next week for sure.
Especially if he does
is
well
moving on from Jameis Winston. That will be on next week's podcast.
No, for sure.
For sure. Especially will be talked about if Fitzmagic can go in and
get the job done.
And knock off the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah,
absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I think the Bucks have a legitimate shot of winning this game. But what you do is you take the Bucks minus 6.5, buy a half a point, so you end up getting them at, instead of minus 110, you get them at minus 130 or 140, but you get them at 7 points. So even if they lose by 7, you push, you get your money back. You cover yourself. And then my risk reward of the week would be the San Diego Chargers going in and knocking off a very overrated Seattle Seahawks team, who I don't think's defense is as great as they say it is. With that offense, everybody's saying, "Oh, you should sit Tyrell Williams, their wide receiver. You should sit Phillip Rivers. Play him, see what happens. You got to take risks sometimes. This is my risk of the week." Plus 110.
In Seattle.
You lay $100, you win 110. Obviously, most of you people out there don't spend that kind of money. But hey, throw $20 on it. You can make yourself $25
that quick.
So
say you say $20 on every one of these games and you hit on all of them. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, and you know for years.
Personally, I've been betting with Jared for a while, and so have you, Connor. Yes. And he's been making us a lot of money. So I always trust his picks going into Saturdays and Sundays.
Especially Sundays.
Definitely
Sundays. I get a little risky on Saturdays.
Yeah, Saturdays he does get risky.
I get risky, but that's where if you hit one Saturday.
Yeah.
That's where you make your money.
That's where you make.
But
big bucks.
I mean, the last 4 weeks I've just been solid. I was, as you guys saw on the gram last week, I was 5 for 5 in 5 to 17 parlays.
Yeah.
I mean, and another game that my game to stay away from this week. I didn't mention it. I didn't have it in the list here. I just can't decide which team to bet. The Saints and Rams. Stay away from it. Don't like it. I can't figure out which team's going to win. If you're going with a hot team, I would go with the Saints, but I didn't even bet not in a single pick this week is that game because I still don't know who was going to win that game.
The Rams are the better team, but you're playing
a hotter team
in New Orleans.
The only play for that game is see how the first half plays out. You bet the second half if you got a bookie. You bet the second half.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do. You can't do anything else.
That's definitely the game to stay away from.
But I think that's some good information that you just filled those people in.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I think that's all for this time, guys. It's been fun. I mean,
talking
about sports, it's what we love to do.
The start of something great.
Yeah, I know, guys. So I hope you guys liked it.
Tune in next week.
Just please. Tell me how you liked it, guys.
We're open for debates too.
Yeah, we're open for
just
any
like questions
we said. You have.
Anybody
you
wants to debate.
You can contact me on. You can
Instagram.
contact any of us.
Yeah.
You probably follow all of us, so it'll be in our bio.
Yeah.
And we are open to having guests.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So just
sit down. It doesn't need to be a.
If you're an Eagles fan, you think
and in a couple weeks, as we learn, we're gonna hopefully get a phone system where you guys can call in and you guys we'll leave We'll have a phone where you can leave a voicemail, and we can actually get back to you and answer questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'll be all coming as we learn.
Maybe on like
a Wednesday or a Thursday, because we usually try to do this on Friday nights when we're all available.
Yeah.
So just let me know, guys. Hope you guys liked it.